So we're picking up where we left off. CombinationLock version 1.0, and we finished turning everything into a set of expressions, conditional statements, so that if they get the letter correct, we show them the letter, and then if they didn't get it correct in the correct spot, but it happens to be in position 1, 2, or 3, then it's in there, just not the right place. So we show them the plus, and then else covers, when they get it wrong, in the wrong place, not in any of the other positions, then we're going to show them a star. So that part is done. And then we ended up putting it into a loop so that we start with 0 and then we finish before it's 4. So the loop's not going to run for position 4 because we don't have that. 0, 1, 2, 3. You could write it like this. It's the same thing. Since numbers are like that, there's a few different ways to express the same thing. Whatever you're more comfortable with. Me? Oh. One less symbol. Okay. I think the next thing that we gotta do is we gotta make sure that the arrays, that we populate the empty ones, because we're not gonna have code like this. It has to be empty, and then once they type in a guess, if you guys look in the sheet that's provided, it'll tell you that parameter is used when we call the actual method. So it'll be like .get hint or .get clue, and then in the parentheses you write in the guess, and then that's used to populate an empty array. So we got to actually write that part. The secret, it depends how the game is gonna go. You can go ahead and just type in a secret word, and it's always gonna be that word. So the game is just about that word, frog. But if you want to go ahead and let the user decide, same thing as guess, right? They type it in, and then they're gonna be able to use those characters in that word to populate the array. So we just gotta program that part. Why don't we just do both? We'll go ahead and do both, where the user can decide the secret word and another player can try to guess it. Okay. That means that you have to do it like that. And then same thing here. You have to do it like that. If you're not sure, I'll be honest, right now I'm not sure. So I go to the doc, I go to data structure, and I go to arrays. And then there you go. This is how you create the new one. Oh, I don't need that empty bracket. Just a data type you need. Let's see. Next, we got to make sure that we write the lines of code so that it can go in and populate the array. So why don't we go ahead and do that? Why don't we go ahead and start with the secret? So I'm gonna go ahead and think ahead a little bit, because I have to use a loop. So that I loop through the characters in the string and then assign it to array 0, array 1, array 2, array 3, so that it fills it up. So I'm gonna do that for right now. I'm gonna say, if we're gonna let them type it in, we gotta be able to import the scanner, and then we should be able to let the user type it in. So this is the process I would take if this is like my first few times writing a class, maybe first 10 times until I get comfortable. I'm just gonna jump ahead a little bit to save us time. I know that I can't import scanner in a class. I know that that's gonna be using a tester, but we're all doing all this so that we could build a class, a method, and then building around it so that it becomes a class. So I'm gonna go ahead and explain why I'm not gonna import a scanner right now. Because remember how they said we have to instantiate with the parameters so that it gets passed to the class? So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna just come up with a variable, and then I'm gonna say I'm gonna have to come up with a different array or a different variable name than the array. So I'm gonna just call what's a good variable name for the variable containing the actual answer. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put that in. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the same thing for the guess attempt, I guess. And I'm gonna put some wrong ones, right? Like the first tester that we see in the information sheet. And then I'm gonna go ahead and create the loop for int I. Secret is the array name. I. So starting with 0, I'm gonna go ahead and assign F. But I want to assign like the first letter, second letter as it loops and stuff like that. So there's this method in string called character at. It's char at. And then in the parenthesis, you put the index number, and then it gives you the letter in that string. You just gotta go ahead and attach the variable, because string, so it's not a primitive variable, it's a reference variable, more complicated one, because string is a complicated data. And then that's why it has its own method. We don't have to import a class or anything. It comes with the string method, string class. There you go. So it's not 0, it's I, because 0, 1, 2, 3, and then we have to put 4 because we want 4 slots in the array. And then as it loops, 0, 1, 2, 3, it'll go ahead and assign the character 0, 1, 2, 3 to those empty slots of the array, so that it looks like the original stuff that we had, like kind of like this. Remember we had the brackets like that, and then we had so this will turn it into that. Sweet. Which means we do the same thing here. Instead of secret though, this is for the guess. And then the variable that has the string value for the attempt, that is attempt. Okay, I just want to see if it works, man. So at the end, I'm gonna take this out later, but I want to go ahead and see after it creates the array, populated array. I want to go ahead and let's just do 2. Make sure that it prints out that letter, and then same thing for the guess. Let's go ahead and see if it prints out the correct letter. Remember, this is referring to the index. Forgot the 4. And then same thing here. This is referring to the index of the secret array. Oh, I knew I forgot something, man.